Hey, my name is Trulin Rockwood. This is my Rise Self-Reflection for the month of April. I'm just finishing up my graphic design course, and just looking back on this month, I absolutely loved this course. I had so much fun in this class. I worked really hard in this class. I think we've all kind of maybe had the advantage of being forced to stay home a lot more right now. And for me, that has given me a lot more time to work on my schoolwork. Every day when I get home from work, I have a good chunk of hours where I can just kind of sit and focus and work on things. And that was super helpful. It allowed me to set aside this, specific time where I was able to really improve and work hard. I tried really hard in all the assignments. I even did a lot of some things I'll talk about later. I did a lot of work on my own in order to improve some of my skills, and I think it really paid off. I'm really pleased with the way that all of my designs, all of my finalized designs, I really like the way that they all looked. There were a couple of things that I wish I would have been able to have learned or developed the skills for that I wasn't quite able to, but as a whole, I'm very, very pleased with the way that my designs and my products and everything all turned out. On my magazine ad, the whole basis of my design, it's this kind of circular design for my logo. My whole idea was that I wanted it to look like something that could be printed on the side of a whiskey barrel, kind of wood burned into something. With the idea of this being a brewery as well as a barbershop, I really wanted to make sure I could marry those two ideas as best as possible. And with the client profile saying that they wanted something kind of hipster and sharp and industrial, I felt like that would really play well. The only problem was I had a really hard time learning and kind of discovering how to do that. In particular, on my magazine ad, the top quarter or half of the page was the logo and some of the info, and it was on like a wood table with some barber tools around it. And if I had gotten those skills, I would have wanted to make the logo look like it was actually burned into the wood, which was something that I tried and did some investigating on. But despite us in the middle of this pandemic and trying to social distance as best as we can, I actually still go to work every day. And so my life that way hasn't really changed. Still have a kid here at home, so I do have a lot of other things pulling my attention, and so that was one thing that I really wanted to learn how to do, but I just didn't quite have the time to do it. One of the other things though is initially my design, I liked it, but it wasn't quite at the level that I was hoping for. I wanted it to look a little bit sharper and a little bit more professional. And so I spent some time sketching out some additional ideas, talking with my wife and my family about what ideas they liked and that kind of stuff. And I've settled on one that I really liked, but I wasn't sure how I was going to be able to actually achieve that and put that into work. So I did some research, found some tutorials on how to make beards and glasses and hair look more realistic in Illustrator, and was able to create a design with the help of those tutorials that I was very, very happy with. It was not a radical redesign. It's actually a lot simpler than my original design, but it's a lot sharper, and I think looks a lot more professional, and I'm super, super pleased with the way that it turned out. Just one thing that's a huge weakness of mine that I stumbled on a couple of times this month was for whatever reason, I'll read and reread and reread the directions of an assignment, and still sometimes there'll be a line of something in the instructions that I will just miss for whatever reason. And so I don't end up submitting all of the work, or I miss a step or something like that. That happens to me all the time. Thankfully, it only happened once, maybe twice this month, which is a huge improvement for me. And luckily, most of the time I catch it before I submit the assignment, but oftentimes I catch it and it's a couple hours before I submit the assignment, and so it really kind of throws a wrench in my plans. So that's just something I want to continue to improve on. It's just making sure that I'm reading the instructions as thoroughly as possible, and really trying to retain the information in the instructions so that I can meet the assignment and succeed in the given instruction. Looking forward into my career with my goals as being a film and entertainment journalist. Hopefully I'll be put in situations where I'm in charge of creating my own content. And if that were the case, I'd love to be able to help kind of produce that content and work with, the designers that if I'm working at, a specific outlet, and kind of come up with a look or a feel based on design for whatever content I would be producing. If I don't actually end up working for an outlet and end up just kind of doing it on my own, through YouTube or whatever, I'll definitely want to be able to create my own look and my own logos and all that kind of stuff, which I've done very, very simply before I even started school here. But it was super simple and not really that great. So I'd love to be able to, even now in my free time, trying to come up with some designs for my own stuff that maybe I'll do in the future, whether it's through my career or just kind of stuff I do on my own. Either way, these are super helpful skills. I also have a number of family members who are kind of doing their own things in terms of businesses and stuff, and to be able to be someone that they can ask, hey, like, what do you think of this design? I've already had a couple of family members reach out to me and ask for my help about a couple of things because they know that I'm doing this train of school, and that's been awesome to be able to offer advice and say, yeah, I would change this a little bit, but I like the ideas you have here. We can just kind of tweak them a little bit, and I think they'll more accurately reflect what it is that you're trying to accomplish as a company. So anyways, I really enjoyed this course. This was a super fun month for me in school, and I was very, very proud of the work that I did, and feel very grateful that I was able to work very hard and have the time to work hard and to continue to work and improve on my skills. So very happy with the way this month turned out, and hope that next month will be excellent. So